For Coffee Talk on a Tuesday morning. It is January 11th. My apologies for being a couple of minutes late. Traffic. I don't know what happened today, but people just decided we don't know how to drive. We're going to drive slowly to the point where we're going to make other people mad and we're going to almost keep hitting each other. And I'm just like sitting behind, observing all of this. Or number three, did all of the snowbirds move in last night? I don't know. At any rate, I apologize. I'm a few minutes late, but here we are, rolling right along on a Tuesday morning. It's chilly, by the way, but it's stunning. Look at our tower cam. Good gravy. That is gorgeous. We're looking off toward the east. Of course, the sun is on its way up. Downtown Orlando in the foreground. If you look off in the distance, you can actually see the Stanton Energy Facility, the power plant right off the beach line. A couple of clouds over top of us. It's a gorgeous start to the morning. Look at temperatures around town. We're sitting at about 53 degrees in Orlando, 49 in DeLand, it's 47 degrees in the Villages, and 42 in Ocala. Temperatures are not the only thing for today, although they certainly are a noticeable change over yesterday morning. It's definitely cooler. Let's take a look at the comparison, shall we? 10 degrees cooler in Orlando, 12 degrees cooler in Daytona Beach, 21 degrees cooler in Ocala, versus this time yesterday. So it is definitely cooler this morning. But over the course of the day today, it's not just going to be the temperatures. The winds are absolutely going to play in. Let's just take a look at the winds right now. Relatively quiet, but they are going to be picking up. I say relatively quiet because it's like 5 miles an hour in Daytona Beach, 7 miles an hour in Ocala, and 12 miles an hour up in did I remember to close my garage? I did, okay. And 12 miles an hour in Orlando. This is going to be getting 15, 20, even perhaps 25 miles an hour today. So it is going to be, my friends, a gusty day. It's going to be beautiful too. So if you're trying to make plans to be outside, please do so. Look at our forecast today. From the 40s and 50s to the 50s and 60s. Lunchtime, 64 degrees in the metro. We're up to 68 degrees by 1 p.m. and 70 by 3 o'clock this afternoon. You can see very clearly winds out of the northeast running about 15 to 20 miles an hour and even gusting higher than that. Now you see that 10% there. Yeah. There is going to be a few opportunities to see a few coastal showers today because it's not a direct northerly wind. We do have a bit of an onshore component. So let's pop up our first warning Doppler radar and just check to see how things are going. For now, things are looking nice and quiet. I'll just put the laps on this so that we can get the overall perspective. Yeah, there's nothing going on out there that is to be tracked. We take a wider perspective of the satellite and radar, though, and you can kind of see that there is moisture over the Bahamas, Palm Beach, Broward, Miami-Dade's coastal waters. But those clouds, if you look right at our shoreline, and I'm going to try the telestrator, it sometimes behaves and sometimes it doesn't. So we'll just see how it plays today, if it wants to behave today. But look at these of course, see, it's not wanting to behave. Look at these. Okay, I don't know why you're doing what you're doing, but look at these clouds out here. That's what I'm trying to say. If you look at those clouds, they're almost starting to work over toward our shoreline, which is why we're going to have that opportunity to see those showers in there today. So not a big deal, but it's definitely something that we should at least kind of keep eyes open for, okay? In terms of high temperatures, here's where we go today. 70 degrees in the metro area. And in many cases, we don't even hit 70. 68 in Sanford, 68 degrees in Leesburg, 66 today in Ocala, and 64 degrees in Palm Coast. So it is a stunning forecast today. Okay, enough about the weather. Let's start to say some hellos, right? Frankie, I see you in there. Good morning. Pat, Marie, Cindy, good morning, good morning. Connie, Dana, Emmy, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. David, Ashley, Naomi, good morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Good morning to you, Leonard, Brandy. Beverly says snowbirds come when it gets cold up north. Well, that's a good point. Let's see, Beverly, just what the temperatures are looking like, even though I know what these are looking like. Here's a look at current temperatures across the country. These are actual air temperatures, okay? 7 degrees in Chicago. it is 3 degrees in Buffalo, 8 degrees. You know, my old boss moved to Boston, and I did wonder what the heck she was thinking. I feel like I should send her a text message today and ask how that's going. 8 degrees in Boston, as I get a little bit of a breeze here at the house, and I'm like, man, this is chilly. Meanwhile, it's 53 in Orlando, and I wonder, let me see if I've got this. Do I have a feels like? I do. Shall we look at the wind chills? Feels like -10 in Boston. Feels like -3 in Chicago. -22 in Bangor, Maine. Are you kidding me? I know people live in these places. But how? But how? Seriously. I get it. People love their neighborhoods. That's all fine. But how? Because for us, high temperatures at 70 keep things chilly. And it's a breezy day too. With those winds coming in, you can see Futurecast kind of showing little ribbons of moisture coming in. We're going to keep things cool for tomorrow. And over the next couple of days, frankly, we're going to keep this overall pattern with temperatures running right about average. It's cool for us given recent times. But when we look at the forecast, okay, and I think that this is kind of an interesting little statistic. Orlando, 70 today, average is 71. Now, Sanford, Leesburg, Daytona Beach, you're going to be a little, even Melbourne, you're going to be cooler, right? But we're right about or just slightly below average. It's a great forecast, but we're kind of a little below. Now, when we look at the month of January, and this is something that I think is super interesting, okay? We've had no afternoons with temperatures in the 60s. We've had 5 afternoons. Now, this is through yesterday because obviously we don't have the Climo for today. But of the first 10 days of the month, we've had half of those days with highs in the 70s, half of those days with highs in the 80s, and 9 of the 10 days have been above average, which thus far has been 72. So kind of interesting. Yeah, the month has definitely been warmer than average, and we're just, because of this chill, back to average temperatures. So I think it's a really interesting little scenario. But either way, average, above average, we're still looking at great weather. Now, for the golfers, that breeze is going to make today a medium weather impact day. All right, so if you're going to play golf, for what it's worth, that may influence you, okay? Just keep that in mind. But if you're heading out to the theme parks, I wish that I could find an excuse to tell the boss, like, hey, I'm going to go out to Disney for the day. What are you doing? Weather observing? Like, that's the kind of day we've got. It's so pretty out. I just want to go to there. I just want to go play at the parks today. Janelle, good morning from Nebraska. I hope that you can come back to Florida soon. Please. Ashley, good morning. How does the weather look for the Brevard Renaissance Fair this weekend? Ashley, it's looking gorgeous. It's absolutely looking gorgeous. Our weekend planner, and obviously that's downtown Orlando in the foreground, but, keep that in mind. But it's kind of for all of us. Saturday, definitely the better of the days. We're starting to look at rising rain chances on Sunday, all right? But Saturday looks to be nice and dry, so there's definitely that. I like that. Janelle says 18 in Sioux Falls. No. Maxine, good morning. How are you? Been a while since I've been able to join. Maxine, I'm just glad that you're here. Good morning to you. I hope you're having a great morning. Jason's asking, where's the frost? Well, first thing, you need temperatures to be colder. And second thing, you need there to be calm winds, okay? That's the biggie. Because winds add friction. Just like I know it sounds silly, but when you take your hands and you rub them together, it causes heat. You can feel the warmth, right? Given our current weather scenario, we've got a lot of breeze, and that breeze, believe it or not, adds the friction. We also are just a little too darn warm for that. So, for what it's worth, you're not going to get that happening with this kind of a scenario. That's okay. That's all right. All right, interesting weather scenario these next couple of days. Midweek, okay? So here we are. Today is Tuesday. For tomorrow, it looks like we may start watching this little trough, this little storm system off to our south. Little disturbance in the force, if you will. That's going to be something that brings a little bit of moisture. What happens? Well, it kind of works out into the eastern waters as a front pushes it that way. And that front is going to reiterate this kind of nice stretch of weather. So let's take a look at our 7-day forecast, and then we can detail that using Futurecast and everything. And by the way, that little storm system that we're watching to our south, if you're asking yourself, hey, does that play into the long-range forecast? The answer is yes. It does, all right? All right, so today, 70 degrees. It's gorgeous. Tomorrow, a little bit warmer, but we're watching the rain chances, especially late Wednesday into early Thursday. And we're going to look at that on Futurecast for you. Then as we look to about Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's getting a little cooler. It's going to be gorgeous. Saturday is going to be a chilly one. Frankly, it's fine with me, but it's going to be a cooler start. Then Sunday, another storm system. That's going to bring us moisture. Yeah. No, right now, we're not looking at anything too strong, but there's little opportunities for rain here, okay? So the next one is going to be that little disturbance on Wednesday. So let me do this. Let me find Futurecast. Kind of have to find an extended-ish Futurecast. Let's see here. Do you run far enough? You kind of do. Okay, yeah. All right, so here we are. So here's Futurecast, and let's just start for today. And notice right off the top, it's indicating the potential of some of these little coastal showers, all right? Through the day today, you can kind of see there's 1 o'clock, maybe watching some coastal showers. Definitely not going to write that off. I think that we've got that opportunity, and that's why we've got a 10% mention of rain. Do I think that maybe Futurecast is a little overblown? Sure, but it's still there. Overnight tonight, keeping those showers around. Tomorrow morning, starting to cloud things up. Notice tomorrow, though, later in the day, more clouds. And notice by the afternoon, we're starting to see some showers inland. Once the sun sets, there's 8 p.m. Showers around. Watch that overall coverage. There's 11 p.m. tomorrow. Futurecast is indicating showers around, okay? That's why we've got that mention of rain in the forecast again. Late tomorrow. Give me 2 seconds. Let me just move the timeline. Okay. All right. All right, here we go. So there's 11, 12. Notice through 1 a.m., showers around, and then everything is eventually moving out as that frontal boundary clears us out. So that disturbance south of us, and let me just dial that back up. So that disturbance south of us starts to allow moisture to move our direction, and then as that disturbance starts getting kicked away, thanks to this frontal boundary, we're going to be clearing out. So that's the good news, right? So it's kind of this two-pronged thing. But if you're asking, does that play into the hurricane forecast? Yeah, the answer is yes. That's going to be one of the features that we're going to be watching. All right? Dawn says, yuck, I can't even imagine living in that cold. I agree with you. I have no desire. Like, our little tastes of cold are fine for me. You know what I mean? Zorian says, I'm so scared of the cold weather. That's, I think, why we're in Florida, too. Like, I actually had one of the meteorologists, Ben, from WPTZ in Burlington, Vermont. He and I tweeted back and forth a couple of times this morning. Let me show you. So I posted our temperatures. Okay, yeah. So I posted our temperatures, and he says, hey, at Eric Burris Wesh, you should come visit. And he shares this. This is what his tweet was. Wind chills. Look at some of those numbers. Yeah. Burlington, -22. Plattsburgh, -22. Saranac Lake, -23. And then I told him, now I was the good Chamber of Commerce person. I then said to him, hey, at MCO is open. And MCO liked that, which they liked that tweet. But it's like, I don't know how they do it. I really don't. That's a whole other world. Seriously, that's a world that I just don't know that I'm equipped for, you know? Like, I'm looking at those now. It's the coldest air we've seen in years up that way. But like, look at this 7-day forecast. And I say this knowing that Ben isn't watching it, but like, Ben, my friend, come to Florida. Look at that forecast. Good gravy. That's another world. Seriously, that's another world. Shannon says, celebrating our 5th year of marriage on Friday and going horseback riding in the morning. Crossing my fingers for good weather. Friday, it's going to be a cool morning, so you may want to have some extra layers. Florida style, like not Ben and, the North Country of New York style, but yeah, it's looking gorgeous. That Friday forecast is looking gorgeous. Man. Lynn, morning, Eric. Are we going to experience any frost in the future? I mean, certainly, but so for example, you see, like, let's just say Friday, let's just say Saturday. Notice Orlando, 48 on Friday morning. Orlando, Saturday morning, 46. Let's pull up some raw models. Give me just a second. I'm going to pull up some raw models here. So if it's 46 in Orlando, it may very well be in the 30s north of town. And if that's the case, let me pull up some raw. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. So raw models. This is one of the resources we use. It's called the National Blend of Models, okay? And you're looking at minimum temperatures. So that's a look at the morning lows. Again, this is just model guidance. That's Saturday morning, okay? Minimum temperatures Saturday morning. And what that is, if you look on the top left, you see where it says NBM, November Bravo Mike. NBM is National Blend of Models. And what that means is it takes all the models and it kind of blends them together. And in just our case and our discussion, it gives you a pretty good handle on kind of the gist of the data, right? So 40 in Ocala. Is that frost worthy? Yeah, meh. If we look at wind speeds, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Saturday, you see how Saturday has calm winds, 12Z, that's the morning. So if the temperatures were to get calm enough, or quiet enough, cool enough, if the temperatures were to drop into the upper 30s on Friday morning or Saturday morning, because that area of high pressure is literally right on top of us, there could be the potential of some frost. But the NBM, the overall trend is to keep temperatures just a little warm for any frost development. But Friday and Saturday, Gainesville, Putnam County, some of our extreme northern areas, we could be looking at that. But the winds are here now. They're calming by late week. So frost is something that we could watch. Debbie says, I put sweatpants on. Sweatpants in Florida. How can I tease my New York family and friends now? You tell them that we're getting to 70 degrees this afternoon, right? Like, yeah, I have to put on the layers this morning. By the afternoon, this is getting unzipped, and I'm going with just the polo, right? That's how you tease your friends up north. Shannon says, we desperately need rain in Satellite Beach. You got some yesterday, though. At least there was a little bit, right? There's that. Haven't had to wear my Under Armour this year. Earl says, morning, Eric. What a beautiful morning on the fairway mower in Kissimmee. It's a beautiful morning, and that's the thing I want us to make sure to remember. How nice it is. Holly says, I prefer hurricanes over being snowed in all day because hurricanes are more of a threat than they are an impact. Like, we do get hurricanes impacting us, but they're not a constant thing. They just kind of come and go, right? John says, I was a paramedic in the Chicago area for many years. I always hated the cold. I can't attest to that, but I can respect that, and I can hear you, and I could say, not my cup of tea. Yvette says, great week for trying different soups. What's your favorite? So if time allows, I'm going to try and do tomato soup tonight. I don't know if time's going to allow. Kind of starting to look at my day, and it's going to be super busy. So it may be a Panera soup day. I did make chili yesterday, though. I have to show you. This is me bagging up the chili from yesterday. Put it in the old bag. Yeah, peppers and onion. Ooh, that chili was good yesterday. My kids ate it like wild men. Like wild men. Audrey used to live in western PA between Pittsburgh and Erie. I left for a reason. I still don't do well in the cold. And at least our Florida cold is like temporary. Like, yeah, we're in a nice cool stretch here, right? But that's normal. Like, look at the very bottom in that black bar. Normal high 71, normal low 49. So we're just now going into normal territory. It's a little cool, but it's not going to be, awful frigid. I like that. Right? Terry, the wind is what gets me. Exactly right. Patty, we were young and stupid and skiing, even with wind chills below 0. We couldn't wait for our lake to freeze so we could skate all day. Now I don't like anything below 70. Good gravy. Not for me. Not for me. Eric, I wear more around the house than you do outside. Well, I'm also, I've got like this nice covered lanai. But, like as the breeze picks up, like this morning I could feel there's a little bit of a breeze, and so I'm not loving that, Mike, morning. American Model says snow Saturday, Sunday in Raleigh. Euro says no. What say you? I say the LRC indicates a pretty good storm system. So if that plays out, I don't know about the snow rain line, but I would say that there's going to be a pretty good storm system. Yeah, and a trough moving through Florida. When my sister texts me pictures of her snow front yard and I text her my front yard, it makes her mad. I tell her you can move here. Oh, and there's no state tax. There's no state income tax. There's the other thing, like, thanks, tourists, Anna, tomato soup and onion soup. It's funny, I was literally thinking, if I make my tomato soup today, great. If I don't, if I end up having to do like Panera soups, I may do a French onion. It's been a minute since I've had a good French onion. Yeah. Vivid Saunders. I can recall ice skating in 9-degree temps in Michigan. And I survived, but I won't do that now. My dad grew up partially in Michigan up there, and he talks about all these different things. Yeesh. My friend from upstate New York, Lake Ontario, texted me it was -4. That was warm, no. Kenneth, Debbie wants your chili recipe. Google, it's called El Cid chili. I think that's what it's called. Just Google it, and there's a bunch of great ones. They're all pretty similar. I don't put beans in, and it's funny because the wife loves beans. I don't eat beans. So whenever she says, can you put beans in your chili? I say, can I put beans in what? In whose chili? Remember how, how I like to tease that? I know that's technically not a love language, but you know how I like to tease and I say that it's my love language? I always say, if you want to make chili, you can, and you can put beans in it. I just don't like beans. Is that selfish of me? Is that selfish of me? Mike, ever make goulash? I have, and I love. Whose goulash did I make? There was a goulash recipe that I made. It was fantastic. Whose recipe was it? It was famous female chef. I can't think of her name right now, but it was her goulash recipe. I made it, and it was outstanding. I should make that again. Maybe next week I'll do goulash. The kids will love it. My buddy Nikki, Debbie, and our meteorologist, Professor Burris. Hello, how are you, Elizabeth? Let's see here. I love beans in my chili. Doesn't seem like chili unless there are kidney beans. I get that. You're just not going to like my chili. Janice, I love that you like to cook. Well, and I clean too. I cook and I clean, and that kitchen is my haven. That kitchen is my haven. And at the end of the night, when I'm doing, I cook, and then I eat, and then I'm the first one to get up and start doing the dishes. And when I say kitchen's closed, y'all, kitchen's closed. You don't go into my kitchen after I close the kitchen. I can, because I'm the one that's cooking and cleaning. But no. when the kitchen's closed, we're done. And I declare it. I tell Jeannie, kids, like, anybody want anything? Because I've got like 3 more things to clean, and when I'm done, kitchen's closed. Debbie, what do I Google? El Cid chili. Yes, El Cid chili. That's what you look up. I got the recipe. I don't even remember who I got the recipe from, but yeah. My niece makes chili with steak. With steak? Cheryl, Julia Child's recipe. It might be, golly, I can't remember whose goulash recipe it was. I take my favorite recipes and I either put them in my phone or I print them out and put them like in a little cabinet. It's one of those things, you know what's funny is it's one of those things, I know this is so silly, but look, I mean, I've had a scare with my father's health, right? But there are dishes that I cook that I've gotten from restaurants or from other chefs, but it's like, it's becoming, to me, I know growing up that there are home-cooked meals that I love, and they don't have to be complex. And I want that to be the case for my family. Like, I want to print out my special recipes so that when I'm old and sick, or if when I pass, I want them to be able to continue. Because I know, like my grandmother, I got my grandmother's recipe for her matzo ball soup before she passed. And every time I make it, I feel like she's sitting there talking to me. Because food does that to you. And so I want to print out all of the recipes, no matter how complex, no matter where I stole them from, because I want my kids, long after I'm gone, to be able to make my silly tomato soup that I got from Pebbles Restaurant, But I love that recipe, and I want them to be able to make it and think of me, think of our family time, because that's, when I make my grandmother's matzo ball soup or there's certain things that are special. I've got her Israeli salad recipe. It makes me think of her. And so I don't know. Tell me I'm not crazy. I mean, maybe I am crazy, but tell me I'm not. Lie to me, would you? We got a chili recipe from a keto cookbook, so no beans, and we're really surprised we don't miss them. Put corn, not the chili, not beans. Huh. Debbie, you being from West Palm Beach, do you remember CR Chicks? Oh my God, every single time because Jeannie and I, we try to take the kids down to West Palm several times a year, at least twice a year. We go for a spring break trip, and we usually go for like a fall or a winter trip. And every time we hit CR Chicks up, Debbie, I'll tell you, if I could get the recipe to the CR Chicks smoky pasta sauce, that would be... I've got the as a matter of fact, dinner tomorrow, I'm making chicken tenderloins, and I'm making the Thirsty Turtle wing sauce because I have the recipe for that. John, you should share your recipes. I do. I absolutely do share my recipes. If you look through my page, I know you'll find my tomato soup recipe. Absolutely. It's from Pebbles. Yeah. I made recipe books for my 3 girls with all our family recipes. They cherish it. See, and Deborah, that's the thing. I feel so much like food is an emotional thing. And so the more I kind of develop these staples, I want to make sure to share them with my children. Yvette, I have my recipes in a book called My Holy Grail. Those would be my favorites. Our family from Grandma's previous printed a softbound book of their recipes for all their family members. Yeah, I get that. Like my turkey meatloaf, so simple, but the kids love it, and God willing, they'll make it for their family because it's simple recipe, and if it can invoke emotion for them when I pass, believe me, I don't want to pass for a very long time, but I want my recipes, as simple as they are, whomever I stole them from, I want them to bring the emotions to my children that my grandmother's recipes bring to me. You know what I mean? Janice, is Jeannie from West Palm? No, Jeannie's from Volusia County here in town. My first television job was in West Palm, and so it holds a special place in my heart. And then on vacation, Jeannie gave birth to Eric in West Palm, so it holds a special place now in both of our hearts. Debbie, love the sauce. Please share that sauce. I'll have to find the recipe. For... Hold on. All right, Debbie, I'll tell it to you. Okay, hold on. Michigan sauce, tomato bisque. Oh, and if you're from West Palm, you'll know this one. Leftovers, yeah. The famous Indironi. It's... Ha! That's a macaroni and cheese recipe. All right, hold on. Ba-ba-ba. Can you tell, like, what a nerd I am? Oh, do you remember steak and ale? There's your steak and ale macaroni salad, which was so good. I steal all my recipes, but they're so good. All right, hold on. All right. The recipe for... Hold on. Thirsty turtle wing sauce. Are you ready? Half a cup of ketchup, a third cup Frank's hot pepper sauce, half a cup of butter, 2 tablespoons of honey. Let it bring to a boil over medium-high heat, reduce heat to low, and simmer for 15 minutes. Let me tell you something, y'all. That sauce is the boss. That's from a little, they call it a Sea Grill in West Palm, but it was a little sports bar. It's a buffalo sauce like nothing you've ever tasted. Half a cup ketchup, a third a cup Frank's hot pepper sauce, half a cup butter, 2 tablespoons of honey. Ho, 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 ho. Y'all. Guys. Yeah. You may use another recipe, but you make it your own. Well, and I do tweak it around a little bit. Janice, I need to write a cookbook. Listen, I'm not good enough to come up with my own. Believe me. But I will steal everybody else's recipes every day. If I find something that I love, especially if it can become a staple. Like my turkey meatloaf is something so simple. It is I got it from like one of those. We had a free trial for like a Home Chef or I don't even remember what it's called. But the turkey meatloaf. It was like a pound of ground turkey. You throw in breadcrumbs, some green peppers, mix it all together, and then the sauce is the key here. It's equal parts like a teriyaki glaze, not teriyaki sauce. Teriyaki glaze and barbecue sauce. You mix that together, put it on, throw it in the oven, pull it out, and then put some more on. Y'all, my turkey meatloaf is so good. And I don't remember where I got it. It was one of those home deals. But like that's something that my kids are going to grow up with. And hopefully they'll make it for their kids. Chris, I'll share my 50-year-old recipe books if you let me eat the results. Well, you know what's funny is I've got like some of the recipes. I found an old recipe book that my grandmother had with her temple. And it's like there's some of these ingredients that like just aren't used anymore, which is kind of funny. I like the old recipes where it's like lard of this. And it's like, how do I do that, you know? Anyway, just one of those funny things. So enough about that. Susie, my kids and grands all helped me cook and bake. I stood them on a chair at the counter from the age of 2, and Eric loves it too. Eric loves helping make things. All right, Gretchen posted it there. Thirsty turtle wing sauce. Half a cup ketchup, 1/3 cup Frank's hot sauce, half a cup butter, 2 tablespoons of honey. Yeah, I believe that's right. That's it. It's so good. I suggest you guys and gals make it. Now, when you put it all together and it boils and then you have to bring it down, it takes it a while. But after 15 minutes, and you have to mix it, right? But after 15 minutes, that thirsty turtle wing sauce turns into gold. That's tomorrow, you guys. It's going to be so good. Dora, good morning to you. I made a Christmas cookie book for Christmas cookie favorites. Hey, you know, I feel like food is emotional, and the nice thing with my surgery is I can have anything I want. Just a bite. You know, like the other day we brought home some Junior's cheesecake. I had like a little bite, just a little bite. Can't have a lot, but have a little bite. Linda, oh yeah, the chicken and gnocchi soup from Olive Garden is delicious. Vivid, a diabetic nightmare. Yeah, yeah, that the Thirsty Turtle wing sauce isn't great for that. Bruce, I was thinking of wings tonight. Make that Thirsty Turtle sauce, Santa, and report back to us. I would love to hear your vibe. And all you need to do, it's a fairly mild sauce in its recipe, but throw a little extra hot sauce in there and and it'll zhuzh it up a little bit, right? My mother says I'm a terrible mom, no cooking. Yeah, I did not learn love of cooking from her. She tried. She burnt water. It's okay. Look, Jeannie doesn't cook now. She's cooked for me, but Jeannie doesn't have the love of cooking. And that's okay. To each their own. I do have a love of cooking. Debbie, where did you get Junior's cheesecake? Costco. They had it in the freezer at Costco. I think you can have it delivered, but yeah, Costco had it in the freezer, like mini little bites. And so I had half of a mini bite. And then, yeah. No, you don't know, not everybody has to be a cook. And you know what's neat is like, I remember once I started loving to cook, I remember, and this is before I met Jeannie, but I remember when I started loving cooking, I was like, man, I hope that I end up meeting a woman who lets me cook. Because, I didn't want the gender role, the stereotypical gender role dictating who cooked in my house. Like, I didn't want that. I'm glad that I get to still... It's so funny how life works, though, right? Like, I'm glad that I get to cook because I love cooking. I really do. The microwave is my best friend. Nothing wrong. Listen, I spent a lot of years doing a lot of microwaving for myself. And then I started learning to cook, and I do enjoy it. It's like a chemistry lesson every day. Because every time I want to throw something, like, let's see what this does. Let's see what this does. And you tweak just subtleties, and it's amazing how, just like chemistry, you tweak a subtle ingredient, and the compound changes, right? That's what I love. That's what I love. Shannon, the husband loves to cook. I hate cooking, so it works perfectly. I will gladly bake cookies and stuff. Jeannie bakes, and I don't bake, so it kind of works out here. Yeah. Linda, my mama made vegetable soup with V8 juice. Oh, interesting. Yeah. See? I love cooking myself. I used to own and run my own diner for 10 years in upstate New York. It was great, open from 5 a.m. and was open until 7 p.m. Oh, that sounds awesome. I think it's just cool. You know what's neat, though, is like finding little things that you love and then sticking with it. Because food is great. But when food becomes part of your life, it becomes part of your life. And that's what I want to do, is make, like I finally got to where I'm pretty happy with my marinara sauce. I stole Olive Garden's Alfredo sauce. So you come to my house and if you want me making fettuccine Alfredo, it's going to be that. But there's a couple of tweaks I've taken some liberties in just to make it a little different. But I love it. And then I get to eat like very little. You know what I mean? Like what was last night? Oh, I made chili. Like I threw a little bit of rice in there, not much, just a very little bit. Threw in some meat, threw in some cheese, threw in some Louisiana hot sauce. Oh my God. And I had a little bit of chili and life was good. I feel like Alexander and I had the same amount of chili, but he was destroying that chili and Eric was destroying that chili. Becca, this is the reason why I married my husband. He's a pro cook and doesn't like to bake. I do, and I don't like to cook, so it works. Same thing in this house. I have no desire to bake. Although we did do, and I'd like to find the recipe for it. Jeannie had the recipe for a homemade carrot cake. I liked that because it was complex. It was complex. I like it. Susie, I add a little lemon zest to my Alfredo and it wakes it up. I thought about doing that. I'll have to try that. I thought about doing that. I'll definitely have to try it. Yeah. Bruce, I'm trying to get better at baking. It's a lot of science, so it's cool. I agree. All right, Bruce, are you going to try that sauce? Are you going to try and make the Thirsty Turtle sauce tonight? Please, I would love to hear how it goes. I would love to hear what you think. Pat, how's Dad? So went yesterday and and they've got him completely off of the ventilator. He still has his trach, but they're only doing a little bit of supplemental oxygen, so he's working harder. So he could barely open his eyes yesterday, but he's super tired. The nurses said that he was more awake in the morning. So yeah, so I'll probably try and maybe get out. I can't make it in the morning today, so I'll have to go in the afternoon. Maybe he'll be awake this afternoon, but he was more awake in the morning. What is Stella barking at? There must have been a noise outside. I'm like looking in my house because I'm like, is somebody at my house? Stella's barking. Anyway, so Dad was very tired yesterday. Excuse me for a second. It's a 386 number. I just need to make sure it's not the hospital. Hello, it's Eric. I'm good. Is there any chance you could call me back in literally 5 minutes? Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, bye-bye. Glad I took that call. It wasn't the hospital, but it was a rehab hospital, which is the next step in Dad. So I am going to need to take that in a couple of minutes. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. That means that maybe we're working toward that. But at any rate, once Dad gets stable enough, that's the next step. So I'm really glad that I took that call. All right, listen, be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so very much for hanging out. I will see you today for the afternoon pick-me-up. I apologize for being a couple of minutes late. Schlepping out to DeLand and back is tough. And hitting a particular window is tough as well. All right? All right, I will see you guys for the afternoon. In the meantime, be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out. Bye-bye.